All right. Hello, everyone. This is Nicole Whitlock with the Side Hustle Summit. I have with me Coach Shay. I'm so glad that she's here. Hi, Coach Shay.
Hello.
I have been following you on your journey to save your life, and I love it. So I am literally going to pick up the torch and run with it over here to save my life. So thank you for being the inspiration and the vessel that was needed to get that game going. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. So I am going to go out to the fan page and I'm going to post real quick. It's been a very busy day. We have had a lot of different questions, which is good. I love it. And, a little bit more engagement. So, ironically, it's on the last day, but that's all right. We receive it however we receive it.
Gotcha.
All right, so turn it off. Okay. So, let me get this shared over. Okay, we are live in both the groups. So, this is everyone's opportunity to ask whatever questions you want to ask. We are happy to answer your questions regarding scaling your side hustle. We had some really great sessions today. So, if you did not catch them, there's still time for you to catch the replay. Um, I know that Stephen Hibbert, who talked about some great information on how he's been scaling his side hustles, and he's had a lot of them. And then we had Keisha Bass, who talked about, a real passive income opportunity for those who are wanting to just spend a couple of minutes every day, not a couple of hours, like anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes every day in their business to do this side hustle. I love that session. And then we also had Renata Darden who talked about mystery shopping. So I hope that you all got some golden nuggets out of the mystery shopping session. That was a good segment. Lyria Moore talked about virtual assistant, and I talked about candy vending. So those were all good segments. Did you get to catch any of them, Shay? Did you catch any of them?
I looked a little here, a little there. I just like awesome stuff. I am super excited. I couldn't delve in because I'm one of those people like to have my notebook and get to work at the same time. And I was trying to work and listen. So
Yeah.
it was like, oh my God, but wait a minute, where's my pen? But I was like, oh no, but you got work to do. You can't work on that right now. So it's like, oh, but that was some good stuff. I gotta get my pen. So I was like, okay, wait till you have time so that you can be intentional, so you can use these nuggets wisely and not
Yes.
just listen to them.
Correct.
So yeah, that's
All right.
that's the plan.
That is the plan. Everybody should have that same plan. I put out the suggestion that from every segment that you watch in any summit, whether it's mine or somebody else's, to take one golden nugget from each one of the speakers, just one golden nugget, because they're going to give you a bunch of information and you're going to go home and you're going to want to implement everything. And then you'll be like, none of this stuff works. And that's not how you implement something successfully. So if you take one golden nugget, you can write down 3 additional points that you caught, but write down if you write down 4 things, one of them has got to be the golden nugget. The other 3 can sit on the side. And then you implement that one golden nugget. You figure out which one of the golden nuggets was the top priority for you and is realistic and relevant for where you are in your journey. Because sometimes we take golden nuggets and we try to implement them and we are not in that season. Okay. We are not there yet. So we're a little premature, and then we're trying to figure out why we can't get the results. And I'm like, it's because you're a little premature.
That's
So
like putting a new baby in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just birthed this baby. It
you
is
can't.
not ready for college. You know
Is
what I
that
mean?
yes?
So let's backtrack. We got middle school, we got elementary, we got a few things we got to teach the baby. That baby
Yes,
can't
right.
even button his pants. You trying to teach it some economics and some stuff. What? Come on, man.
it's not going to work out for you, and you're going to be frustrated, and then you're going to say this thing doesn't work. And the reality is you may not have been in the right position in the right season to implement the thing that you learned. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the one thing that I said is just take one golden nugget and then prioritize the golden nuggets into the first one you want to execute it for at least 30 days. Sometimes it takes 60. Yes.
I'm gonna say 90,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
would, yeah, I like 90, but yes, but you at
Uh,
least before if you're one of those people that you have shiny object syndrome, okay, because some people do,
yeah.
execute it for at least 30 days. 60 is better, 90 is best, and then work on your next one that you found was right for you based on where you are in your journey for this season. So, what suggestions do you have for people on this journey for them?
Raise the baby.
Raise the
Raise
baby.
the baby. Take the time because you can't say you failed at something if you didn't learn it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to raise it up. You got to really get into it. Why I even say 90? Because your first month might be slip and fall. Let's see what works. Let's, you know what I'm saying? What don't work,
Yep.
and then your second might be your rhythm. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And you getting into a rhythm of posting, promoting, and then your third is where you're going to see your results if you've done what you're supposed to do. Because
Correct.
you got to look at business like your commercials. They say you have to see it 7 times before you get it. And you've seen commercials over and over. Then sometimes you're like, I know I've seen this, but you always see something new
Yep.
after you looked at it 12,000 times. So it has to, that's the same thing with business. It has to come across your consumer's table over and over again for them to see it because today might be the day that they want it, but they can't afford it today. Today
Correct.
might be the day that they need it, but they can't afford it today. So you got to understand that even though right now is a need, they may not be in a position to purchase right now, but you still showing, hey, I'm still here. I'm here to solve your problem. I'm here to, serve you. It's like, I've been meaning to get to them. There they go again. Let me go ahead and, do business with them.
Right.
So,
And I'm going to even expand on what she said about the 7. So that has been the rule for years and years and years. But the reality is with TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, like people watch 7 and 14-second videos. So the reality is that number has now quadrupled. People really need to see your stuff more than 7. 21, 25, they need to see it a
I agree.
lot. So consistency is what's going to be relevant today. The 7 rule, we've heard it for many, many years, but in the time and space that we're in right now, like you might as well count on 21 to 25. They need to see it that often because everything is in short form content. It's quick, it's fast. So even seeing it 25 is still low comparatively speaking because everything is so fast.
Fast. And you're
Yeah.
going to build your tribe along the way.
Yeah.
Because one thing I noticed when somebody is looking for a certain service, by the time I get there, they have tagged me about 5 times because other people have already saw me and they're familiar with someone who does it. Even if they haven't used me, I
Mhm.
post so much about it and market about it. They're like, oh yeah, this is the person because they've seen me repetitious all the time. So I'm familiar. You know what I mean? So that you can build your tribe and people who are familiar with you too,
That's
on
good.
social media if you're building your brand because they're like, oh yeah, I seen this, that came through and they're going to refer. And they may not have used you, but they saw you
Yeah.
over and over again.
Over and
And
over.
that's solid for some people, you know what I mean? To see consistency because
Right.
so many people are fly by night.
That is absolutely true. So tonight's topic is about scaling, guys, scaling. So I'm hoping that you really got some really juicy nuggets from the last 3 days worth of sessions and today's session. And you can still watch today all the way up until 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. So there's still the opportunity. There's also still the opportunity to upgrade to the All Access Pass. So you can go ahead and upgrade to the All Access Pass. The early bird is gone, but you can still upgrade because you want all of the amazing bonuses that are out there. So let's talk about scaling your business. So Miss Shay is so talented. I'm in awe of this lady because I did not know of the many talents that she has. But um, I know that she has a lot of experience with scaling. So, what is one of the tips that you would give for people who feel like, okay, I'm in my side hustle and I really feel like I'm in a position to scale? I'm ready to take this to the next level. I've been doing it maybe for 30 days, I've been doing it for 60 days, I've been doing it for 90 days, or I've been doing it for 2 years. And I really am ready to make this my bread and butter. What is maybe one of the early things that you would suggest that they do?
Well, you got to know what scaling means to you,
Okay.
because scaling means so many different things to so many different people. Scaling for somebody who's doing it might be adding another person to the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it's something that you're going to have your 9 to 5 and you say, I'm going to scale to my next level up is me being my own boss, then you have to think of all the things that are in play with you now as an employee. Because
Okay.
one of the biggest things is a lot of entrepreneurs, they think that the rule has been that corporate America has trained you for entrepreneurship, but a lot of you guys have thrown it out the window as soon as you become business owners, and we need you to grab it back, because that structure is what's needed to scale
Yeah.
your business. There has to be systems to scale your business. So I want you first to decide what scaling looks like. Does it mean that I'm going to next level and I'm going to be into business ownership? Does that mean next level I want more money and I'm going to create another stream of income within my business? Does that mean next level I want to access more funding and look for grants and loans? Or does that mean next level I want to build business credit? Or does that mean I want to take on another side hustle? What does that mean when you say scale? Because that's very important, even when you're scaling your side hustle. Where is the next step? And then where do you see it taking you to the end? So even when you're doing it, I'm going to say have a strategic plan of action. If there's a certain amount of money that you need to make, even with your job, if your job is paying you $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, and you say, okay, well, I need to make $3,000 every single month in order for me to leave this. I need to comfortably know I need to make this money before I can give the job the job back. Then you gotta say, okay, well, $3,000 is my monthly goal, and then what am I selling and what am I doing to make this money? So if you do a full day, I need you to treat your side hustle like an employee for maybe a day and see what that looks like, what kind of money that may bring you in. And depending on what your gig is, let's do it for a week. So, because if you did it for a day and you say, okay, I'm going to drive Uber, do an 8-hour day, it brought me in $600. So if your goal is $750 a week, do we need to do another half a day of Ubering and lifting to meet our goal? Or do you want to raise that goal so that you don't have to work harder next week? Or how do you want to break it down? Do you not want to work a full day, maybe a couple of half a days? Decide how you want to discipline, because you got to discipline still to make the money. If you
Yes, you do.
if you want to make that $3,000, whether you say I want to control my schedule or control the money, you still have to discipline yourself to get it. So decide what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. You
Yeah.
need to decide that early on when you want to scale your side hustle, and think about what scaling looks like for you.
Yeah.
Have a real conversation, because some business owners or people will say, well, I want to scale and have a team and I want to, build and have a staff and I want this. But when it comes down to it, not to say that they're not able to do it, but the capacity and the willingness to do what it takes to have that is
Mm.
not really what they want to do, because it takes a lot of work and
Yeah.
they want it to have freedom. But their vision that they want for themselves requires a lot of work before freedom.
Yep.
So
It does.
got to decide, you know what I'm saying? Is this the journey that you want to go on? Because some will require more of you in order for you to get, what I'm saying, what you want in return later. And you may be looking for something to free your time. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So you might have to think, okay, well, I need side hustles that have a bigger payout, because I don't want to, put so much time in it. And I know I don't want to put so much time in it. So what is it that you can find, sell, or do that will have a bigger payout for less of your time. You got to look at all of that when you're picking your side hustles, when you're
Yeah.
scaling your side hustles, what you're willing to do. Because if not, you'll find yourself feeling like, I feel like I'm in another job and I'm not getting anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And now all I am is my own boss and I'm tired. You know
All the time.
what I mean? What is the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of it, if we don't have a real strategic plan on what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you can say, I want this 3,000 and find it that you can make it with 2 days of work. But do you say, okay, well, I got some extra days. I think I want to triple that,
Yeah.
and do some more, or is that 3,000 enough? It did the job and it gave you what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And you're fine. And there's nothing wrong with not getting more if that wasn't the plan. You understand? But
Yeah.
one of the things I need you to cover is remember that you're your own boss now.
Hmm.
So if life start life and you have to be out of work, then where will the money come from if there's no backup kitty? You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you might want to work for regular pay and then work for backup kitty, little backup money for a rainy day. Regular day, sunny day money, rainy day money, sunny day money, rainy day money. You got to be strategic when you are working for yourself because life can happen. And if you're not a W-2 employee for yourself where you can collect unemployment and things like that, then you're responsible to still take care of your family and pay your bills regardless of life happening.
Yep.
So that's important.
Absolutely. Everything she said, ditto on top of that. And when she was talking about like you have to um, treat it, and the words I use are treat your business like it is a job. Pretend like you are clocking into work every single day.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that being an employee for a company has disciplined us to do, is that we know what time we're supposed to clock in and what time we get to, hey, I get to go home, it's 5 o'clock, or whatever company you work for. And so you do need to treat it like it is, like you're clocking into a job. If you physically have to go get a time clock, go
I
to the
have sign-in sheets. I
there
sign
you
in,
go.
I sign out.
There
I
you
have
go.
a whole clipboard. I sign in. I do like everybody else. I be
Mhm.
flying to get to work. They be like, Shay, you the owner. Why are you trying to get there? Because I did it for somebody else. I ran across town, gave my kids to the neighbor to
Yeah.
get to work on time.
Yeah.
So it bothers me that you will do less for yourself than you did for someone else. Then you will hold the bar lower for yourself than you ever did for someone else. That doesn't make sense. So we have to fix that.
Yeah, we have to
We
fix
have
it
to
in.
fix that.
So treat it like you're clocking in. Sign in, go to the thrift store, get you a little clock in if you need to, or create your own little sheet. And
Right.
then, and then the other thing is she was talking about, if you're ready to scale it, sometimes that means a lot more work until you can scale it. And what I think she means, and she can tell me if I got this wrong. Look, for my team, we have standard operating procedures in place. Creating a standard operating procedure is a document that walks through step by step the task for a specific thing, whether it is, here is the standard operating procedure on how we answer phones. Here's the standard operating procedure on how we respond to voicemails or emails. This is the standard operating procedure on how we create a listing. This is the standard operating procedure on how we do whatever. So there are going to be a bunch of standard operating procedures for your business as the business owner. You might have 5, you might have 25. And that process of writing those out, that is a little bit of time. So when I'm telling people when they are at that place where they think they're ready to scale, I was like, okay, I want you to take the next month and I want you throughout the week, I want you to spend an extra 5 hours and I want you to write 2 operating procedures every single week, every for the next 4 weeks. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, so by the end of the month, at the end of 4 weeks, you will have written 8 operating procedures. I don't know what operating procedures you need to do, but you need to figure out which ones are going to make the most impact in your ability to step away from the business. So if your time has been sucked up because you're answering the phone all the time, or your time has been sucked up because you're responding to emails all the time, then that might be the thing that you need to write your first operating procedure for that, and just add an extra 5 hours for week 1 and add an extra 5 hours for week 2, week 3, week 4. And in that 5 hour span, write 2 standard operating procedures. You will thank yourself at the end of the month because now you got 8 operating procedures that you probably didn't think it was even possible. I think most people, when they sit down to do this, they try to eat the elephant. So they think they got to write all 25 right now. And I'm like, no, take the ones that are going to make the most impact on your business and write those first. Then we can get somebody in position to do that. And then I'm going to back up even more. One of the other strategies I use is, and that I teach, is that you need to, I say, take the money that you're making. If your goal is to hire a VA, know how much you're, or whatever, hire a physical person or a VA, know how much you want to spend. So one of my strategies in the summertime, I take all of my summer sales and I use all of the summer sales for May and June and July, and I put all that money aside so that I can hire someone for August. And in May, June, and July, every week I'm writing out an operating procedure so that way when that new person comes on board, they already have their job is written out, and all the money that I needed to be able to pay for you that I've been skimming off the top is already there. So you can keep that person in their position long enough to actually realize the benefit of them being there. Keeping that person in that position means that you have set aside enough money in buffer that you can pay for their salary for up to 90 days. So I'm going to spend 3 months skimming money so that I can pay your salary for 3 months. You come on board, you've already got 20 standard operating procedures ready for you. We're going to sit down and we're going to train you. And as she said before, that first month is just getting familiar. That second month, you're starting to gain traction. That third month, you are taking off, and that person should be paying for themselves by the end of the third month. But
Oh yeah.
that's just one strategy. So, anyway, I just wanted to expound on how I approach it.
I love it. I mean, this is the thing. Ditto what she said, ditto, the lingo. And see, the standing operating procedure is wonderful. That's the professional lingo. I'm going to tell you to create training. I'm going to
Yes.
create, I'm going to tell you to create, the step by step, what needs to get done, because this is the thing. Sometimes when we get help, we get frustrated when they don't perform how we need to because they don't have the standard operating procedures and the
Right.
training. So you have to have those steps, and those are the systems.
Mm-hmm.
Systems are what build businesses. Systems are what is connected to legacy. You know what I'm saying? That's what ensures that when you can't work, someone can jump right in that seat and get things done.
Yep.
So if you plan to have that type of a business that you want to run it and not only just work it, then you need to create standard operating procedures, training, you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. It might sound a little complex when you say it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
if we just write down the steps to the day-to-day things that need to be done, just write simple steps. You know what I'm saying? And start from there, then we're winning because we have to be able to duplicate. That's the whole point of our business is to duplicate the experience all
Correct.
the way around, internally and externally. And
Yep.
you have 3 different type of procedure and policy because you have policy with your operating procedure. That's the house. We got house policy and how that moves. Then we have staff policy, the rules for human resources and staff and things like that. Non-compete clauses, drug test
Mm-hmm.
forms if you choose to, description, job descriptions, whatever you choose to put in that. Then you have your customer forms. What is the policy and terms and conditions between you and your client? Credit card processing, your website policy, all the things that are connected to your customer. So there's a lot to this, but that is the main one for the house. Let's worry about the house. You know what I'm saying? So yes, standard operating procedures. Ask, ask, ask her to get us a class so she could teach y'all on that thing because I tell you, all y'all to have that.
Absolutely.
Because that's where the money comes at. That's where the money comes at.
That is
And let me say this, and I'm a hustler and a business person, so this is my hustle side coming out of me right now. Because I did standard operating procedures for my cleaning business. So when I started, I didn't want it to just be my way. I mean, when I do it this way, then when Kim do it this way, it all had to be this way, and I didn't want to say, well, Shay, you told me this. We had the documents. Now, 23 years later, I sell those documents. They bring me in between $700 and $1,500 monthly. Just the documents. So imagine all the work that you did and you creating standard operating procedures for your beauty supply store or for your beauty salon or for your art business. And then somebody say, well, I opened up an art business, but I don't want to do the work you did. But can you send me your documents? Because I need them. They need them. That's a hustle. Let them buy it. You done already did the work. Let them pay you for your work and sell. It's not getting in the way of you. No. Because they're going to open up regardless of you. But if you can make some money off of them doing it, why not? Them documents are sitting either in your hard drive, in your Google Drive, or in your desk. Might as well. Might as well. You know what I mean?
So that is what a friend of mine who's an 8-figure seller said. I'm going to need you to sell all of your operating procedures. Every operating procedure you have for Amazon listings, eBay listings, Etsy listings, everything. Product research, everything, sourcing. I want all of your SOPs. And I said, okay, I can give you all my SOPs. So yes, once you write them, you can generalize them. If there's, you can remove some of the stuff that's personal, like login IDs and passwords and all that other stuff. But you can generalize it and sell those jokers because somebody somewhere is going to be starting a business. Side hustles are not new. They are not new. So whether your side hustle is being a virtual assistant or running a vending business, whether your side hustle is teaching people how to do AI, or whether it is doing email marketing, doing social media posting, or whether it is a cleaning business, side hustles are not new. And procedures need to be followed in order for that business to scale. One of the things is, I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm going to let Shay repeat it. But one of the things she said was like, if you're working in your business, you can't grow your business. That's not exactly how she said it. But the point is that if you really want to grow your business and you want to be able to step out of it, then you have to put yourself in a position to scale it. And putting yourself in a position to scale it, in most cases, means that it's going to be you're going to have to sacrifice up front to get the return later, some time, money, or resources. You might have to sacrifice some extra time to work in that business in order to get to a place where you can scale it. You may have to invest money in additional resources. That could be software, that could be people. And so you might have to get more resources, and you may have to invest more money. One of the three, or maybe all three, is going to have to happen in order for you to eventually get to the place where you step away. Because if you didn't check out Stephen Hibber's session, you need to check it out. It's still out there. And one of the things I put for his title was living his best life. Because it doesn't matter what he is doing. He started from getting car parts off of cars at a junkyard. And now he is an investor. Okay? I'm not going to say what figure investor. I'm just going to say he's an investor. So he's doing okay. And he started by pulling car parts. That was his thing. That was his thing. He's done everything from print on demand to selling on Amazon. He's done it all. And now he's an investor. All of us can get there. He spends the majority of his time on the beach, on the fishing. Like he's just out there fishing. He posts pictures. I'm a hater, and I tell him, I'm going to need you to take that picture down. Because I am jealous. I'm like, you are younger than me, and you are sitting there. He's like, well, I'm going fishing in a couple of hours, so we need to have this meeting now. And I'm like, oh, you get on my nerves all day long. You get on my nerves. But it is only because he went through the process early. He learned from his mistakes. He implemented a bunch of processes and procedures and systems. He is all about systems. And now he has the luxury of spending 25 to 30 hours of his week fishing and 10 hours of his week working in his business. And I ain't mad at him. I tell him I'm mad at him, but I'm not mad at him.
And you know what? That's the book. That's like the book that I read called The 4-Hour Work Week, because that's what they talk about. The thing they talk about is they talk about relative income versus absolute income. Whether you work 40 hours a week and make 40,000, or 4 hours a week and make the same 40,000. What are you doing with that time? So you can become the worker and work 40 hours, or you can navigate the work getting done in the 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? But I think the biggest piece of that before we get to that is learning to let go.
Oh.
Because that is going to require you to let go. You're going to have to tap into your inner hold on stuff and control and all these things that make you so hard
Woo!
you, but they make you hold on so tight because success, millions, all of that is connected to outsourcing and getting somebody else to do the job. And it's going to take you to let go, really let go.
And
Like,
girl, I
woo,
have a dear friend that I talk to her all the time, and I'm be like, okay, friend, I'm gonna say her name. Girl, you have been doing this thing for so long. You gonna need to hire somebody, or you're going to have to get some tools to simplify and streamline this. You cannot keep doing this yourself. You got to get in a different, you got to put yourself in a different position. And yes, letting go means that whatever you put in place, it is not going to be perfect at the first time that it's executed. There will be things that will not be right. Stuff will happen and things will be wrong. You will be frustrated and aggravated. Your account may also get shut down or almost get shut down. All kinds of interesting things may happen. But the thing you're going to figure out is that whatever systems you put in place, now you've immediately found all the holes and you can go work on the holes immediately so that you can re-execute the plan. That's one. So you should always have a lesson learned. Number two, again, you're going through this journey. So you want to pay attention to the opportunities that present themselves once things are smoother. You'll be like, okay, now that I got this going, now I can put this one in place, then I can do this next one. And then before you know it, in a couple of years or maybe a couple of weeks, you'll be sitting on the beach fishing with Steven going, let's let's go fishing, Steven. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I am so glad that Miss Shay is here. If you guys have not checked out Business 911, you need to go ahead and check out Business 911. If you upgraded to the All Access Pass, she's giving you 3 months free access to Business 911. Let me just tell you, she is a wealth of information. She was like, okay, I can roll with this lady. I literally can hang out with her all day because we can talk business. We may not use the exact same terms, but we know what we're talking about.
yeah.
May not be the exact same terminology, but we know what we're talking about. So I just want to encourage you all that if you have started a side hustle, don't focus 100% on where you are right now and be frustrated. Know that if you continue to be consistent, you continue to learn from what's happening in your business every week, every month, and you're doing the analysis, you can find those opportunities to begin to gradually scale it. And like she said, scaling could be bringing on people, it could be finding investors, it could be getting business credit, it could be getting a loan, it could be any number of things. But you're going to hopefully get to that place where you can turn this side hustle into something that becomes the thing that keeps the lights on and keeps water coming out of your faucet and keeps the roof over your head. That's the thing that you ultimately want to do. And I just want to encourage you to stick with it, to be patient, be observant in the journey, make notes, pay attention to the data, and keep pushing along because you're going to start getting momentum. You can't feel sometimes the momentum while you're in it. Sometimes you can't. You can't feel the momentum. And then one day you wake up and be like, well, the pressure valve is gone. That's because you were in the valley and you were working through it. And now you're on the other side or you're close to being on the other side. And you're like, wow, things just really got better. I can tell you, I've been going through some VA stuff or before, and I just switched out some new VAs. And I'm like, it's a lot when you're in the valley. But then when you get them on the other side, it's like, I can get some stuff done now. I can work on my stuff. Anything else you want to add to that, Miss Shay?
I love it. I'm just excited to see everyone doing some kind of side hustle. Know when to pivot, know when to redirect, know, be okay. If something is not working, don't keep doing the same something. I'm going to need you to do some research, try something different, be okay with trying something different. Look at other people who are doing what you do and see how they're delivering, how they're pushing the message. There's nothing wrong with seeing how others are doing it, especially if they're even big business, because they have the money for marketing. They have the money to put the research out there for trial and error to see what's working. So, I mean, you're not reinventing the wheel. You just want to make some more money.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing. I'm still going to ask you to decide where you want to be in your side hustle, because you got side hustle, mean that this is a hustle on the side,
Yes, it
right?
is.
So
Yep.
on the side of what? Is it on the side of your regular business? Is it on the side of your 9 to 5? Is it on the side of your retirement? Is
Yep.
it on the side of, you know what I'm saying? Really
Yep.
figure out what it is. You know what I mean? Because I don't want you to get caught on making this big thing, and it's supposed to be a side hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we got to think about the money. You know what I mean? Because your side hustle, thing about it is your dreams are yours.
Mm-hmm.
They're yours. Your needs are yours. You might say, you know what? I'm only going to work my side hustle 3 or 4 months out of the year. I need to make enough just to do a vacation every year, and I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with having a summer side hustle or a part-time side hustle. I got colleagues that only work in the summer, teachers that only do Ubering and Lyft in the summer, that only get into Avon and all these little extra things in the summer. Or I got colleagues who only do insurance, around enrollment, and the rest of the year they're working their regular job. They don't touch anything else, because they know that business is really lucrative around a certain time of the year. So you can kind of just, pick based on what's popping, you know what I'm saying, or what your needs are. But be strategic. Make sure that you don't buy something that's just going to sit to the side. Because a lot of times we buy all these different things and we don't execute. And there's so many different reasons why we don't execute. We don't have time. We really
Yep.
didn't like it. Once we looked at it, we looked into it. It's not what we thought. It required a little bit more out of us than we wanted to put in. Think about all of that before you spend the money.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
true.
you won't have so many things that you didn't signed up for and paid for, and they in your email, and they're like, yeah, well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to push me, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's just so much.
Yeah.
So think about what it is that you want to come from your side hustle. How much hustling do you want to do? And how much money do you want from it, and how long do you want to do it?
Yeah.
So that's important to know while we're out here, because there's so many different side hustles. Even as a business, you might say, okay, well, if I get an LLC and EIN and all that makes me a full-fledged business, but I just want a side hustle. But depending on what you're doing, you may be required to have paperwork and legitimacy, and
Yeah.
it's important. So it's not like if you selling shirts as a side hustle or you're selling Avon, you can just 1099 yourself. But you might just say, I'm going to sell food. I'm going to do hair. I'm going to take on dealing with the public, and there's a risk involved. Then that's when you want to put that LLC or incorporation papers in play, because it's going to separate you from the business and the risk that comes in play with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to get the LLC and the EIN and the paperwork. It's based on the risk of your side hustle, because you can operate without it, but you just got to think about what you're doing.
Yeah. And long term, you do want to, if this is your thing and you've been doing it long enough, you really do want to set yourself up for success. Think beyond, in addition to risk, but also think about legacy. If one day you're not here, but you have built up such a large clientele, maybe selling shirts, that you want to leave it to your family, your kids, whatever. So think about that as well. So
Well, and that's a whole nother thing, because
that's
the
true.
LLC is not going to be it. It's not going to be. The will that you make,
Mm-hmm.
But if you're thinking legacy and leaving things to your family, then you want to build things and put them in a living trust,
Correct.
because that is the only thing that's going to delegate that it goes where it's supposed to go. Other than that, your properties, all that stuff is going to go on probate. It's going
Yep.
to get a cut. They got to still fight for it. All that, even with a will. You know what I mean? So you got to be strategic when you're building these things, because that even in the trust, it's going to make sure that the person's going to pay for that LLC renewal, because those registrations and stuff still got to be paid, and
Yeah.
somebody still got to make sure that the business stay compliant, so it can take care of you in the long run.
Yes. In the long run.
So you got to just make sure that there's somebody over that, because if you don't, when you go, nobody knows to still go and take care of that stuff. They're looking for whatever you left so they can go. So you don't want that. You want your hard work to still pay
Okay.
for after the fact. Especially if you built it up to staff or income that's just generating coming in without you. You can even listen to this. You can actually start a side hustle just becoming an affiliate. So, I mean, signing up to businesses, right, as an affiliate, pushing their links, or even having a website, putting their logo with the links on the site, and whenever somebody click them, you're making money.
Yep.
You don't even have to have anything. Just becoming an affiliate. I make money, and I forget. I get 118 here,
Mhm.
218 over here, and I'm like, "What's that from?" Oh, I forgot
And
I
then,
was for Anytime Mailbox. Oh, I forgot I was a QuickBook affiliate. Oh, and I'm just like, the links are out there. So whenever people are buying or signing up with the premium plans, I get a cut. Totally forgot about it. So you can pick maybe 10 or 20 affiliate links. And now with Chat GPT, tell that little phone, give me 20 affiliate links that I can make some money off of and don't spend no money. Tell it like it is, and
yeah.
let it give it to you what you need and start your side hustle.
Yep. Register with those companies and start your side hustle. She's just saying. She's just saying. That is so true. That is so, 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 so true. All right. Well, guys, I hope that you got some value out of this conversation that me and Miss J had. She is an amazing resource. She's an amazing person. Again, go check out Business 911. There's still time for you to register for the summit. There's also still time for you to watch the summit sessions. So definitely go check out the sessions. We do announce our giveaways tonight at 10 p.m. So we hope that you'll tune in at 10. And with that, I think it's a wrap for me and Miss Shay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful for you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to say goodbye for now, guys.